Hello and welcome back to the Lent Podcast. I'm really enjoying these, Dave.
Me too. You are, I am, I just hope someone else is.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been really good fun. We are going to be continuing looking at Jesus and his disciples, his friends today. And Dave, you are going to be chatting to us about something.
I am. And actually today's podcast is quite a serious one. Oh. It's a slightly heavy one because Jesus says something to his friends and he's being really honest, and he says it to them to encourage them and to help them because he knows that some things aren't going to be easy. Because today we're thinking about something that isn't very nice to think about, which is this. It's about being hated by people. I don't know if you listening to this, you, Shona, have ever felt that way, felt that someone hates you. I know that I've felt that way, and it's actually really not very nice at all, knowing or thinking that someone really doesn't like you, knowing that someone is kind of out to get you, that they hate you. But Jesus said these things to his friends because he knew that it would help them when those things came. So, Shona, can you read the verses for us?
Of course I can. This is John 15, verses 18 to 19. If the world hates you, remember that it hated me first. The world would love you as one of its own if you belong to it. But you are no longer part of the world. I chose you to come out of the world, so it hates you.
So, Jesus tells his friends that after he's gone, there were going to be people in the world, people around them, who hated them, who didn't like them, who tried to attack them, who tried to stop them, who really didn't like them. And that doesn't sound like good news at all. And actually, in itself, it isn't good news. It's not good news that we're going to be hated. But Jesus doesn't just say it's going to happen. He gives a bit of an idea of why that kind of thing happens. He says, you are no longer part of this world. What does that mean? Well, it doesn't mean that we've actually stopped existing in this world, because we all know that that isn't true. What it means is that in some ways, when we follow Jesus, we won't fit in with everyone else. And often, actually, the reason that people think they hate someone else is because they're different from them. It's why sometimes people from different ages feel as though they hate one another because they're just so different, or people from different teams or from different groups or from different parts of the world. They say they hate one another, but actually what's underlying it is that we're different from people, or we don't understand people, and then we treat them badly. And Jesus is saying that if you follow him, sometimes that might happen to you, because as a follower of Jesus, as a Christian, as one of his friends, sometimes that means we're going to think about things differently from other people who aren't following him. We might behave differently than people who aren't following him. I don't know about you, but when I was at school, I would sometimes get teased by people because I went to church. But there's something else that Jesus says in these verses that I find really encouraging, which is that he says, if the world hates you, remember that it hated me first. As we build up to Easter, we remember that actually there were people who hated Jesus so much that they ended up getting him arrested and getting him killed. He knows what it's like to have people who are out to get him. He knows what it was like to be bullied. He knows what it was like to have people who were hating him. And I find a lot of comfort that when I feel like that, when I think other people are looking at me like that, I know that Jesus has been there and he knows exactly what I'm going through, and he'll be close to me while I'm there. So today, I want to ask you to have a think and maybe a conversation. Are you facing anyone at the moment who doesn't treat you well? Why is that? And what is it that Jesus being with you might mean to you in the middle of that? And it might be a really good day to pray for each other as well.
Thanks so much, Dave, for helpfully explaining that verse to us, because that can be quite a tricky one to get our heads round. Now, we won't be having a podcast tomorrow, but instead maybe we'll see you at church, or if you're listening from elsewhere, maybe you'll be going to your church family tomorrow. We hope you have a brilliant Sunday, and we will be back on Monday.
Bye-bye, everyone.
See you later.